Our 2 by 10. Now, I want you to take. I want you to take as many wax as you can, and I want you to try to even make a dent in it as much as the carrot or the apple has in it. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Y'all give it one more chance? All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's it, guys. That's it. Quiet, guys. Be quiet, guys. I want to finish this up. It's okay that it broke. It's okay that it broke. Because let me ask you something. Is this anywhere as demolished or beat up as the apple or the carrot? We can make it up. Now, check this out. Check this out. Everybody look at this. Everybody, I want you to think about this. You get an apple tree. You get an apple tree. And you plant it, the apple tree grows. And how long did it take for that apple, once the bud started and the fruit started to grow on that limb, how long did it take that apple to become an apple?
3 seconds.
Probably a few months.
3 seconds.
Maybe,
10 years.
2-3 months, maybe. Maybe. It does. It does. But the apple itself takes maybe 2 or 3 months to do that. To produce that fruit. You plant a carrot. I don't know, do you plant a carrot? I guess you plant a carrot. Yeah. You plant a carrot. You plant a seed, you get a carrot in a few months. Like, I'm amazed, guys, that we go down to the corn maze. Like, you'll go by there in June where the corn maze is, and there's like no plants anywhere. And then, boom, all of a sudden, by August, late August, out of nowhere, there's these huge stalks of corn. They just rise up out of nowhere very, very quickly. And we can put one of those little corn things up here, and we can bash the snot out of it, and it would go everywhere. Listen. How long do you think it took that tree to grow that produced this wood?
3 seconds.
Years and years and years and years. Listen.
3 seconds, we have beavers.
Check this out. Here's what some of you guys will do.
I karate chop that.
You'll listen to me. You'll listen to me talk about a daily devotional time. You'll listen to me talk about dwelling with God, and you'll get all pumped up for like 1 or 2 weeks. Maybe if we're lucky, a couple of months, and you'll go home with the best of intentions. You'll sit down with your Bible, you'll take the weekly psalm, you'll run through the questions, and then after 2 months you go, well, nothing's changing in my life. I think I'm going to move on to some other things. And other things start to creep in. And other things start to take precedence and priority in your life. And here's what happens. You're just like that apple. You get it 2 months, and you think you're going to be able to withstand and be able to produce and to make it in this world as an impactful disciple for Jesus, as someone that's leaving an impact with your life in the lives of others.
And then Coda came along. With a hammer.
But what it takes, guys, is sometimes years and years and years of you continually being committed and developing and committed to reading your Bible, committed to growing, committed to being a disciple, committed to prayer and to being involved in Summit, involved in church, involved in serving. And what happens is over time, what happens is you become something that will stand up when those times of testing of your faith come. So do you want this a couple of months at best when you pour yourself into it and you get all pretty and really sweet tasting and glossy and pretty to the world, and then
Sledgehammer came right at it.
And then something comes along, it just busts you. Or do you want to invest the time that it takes to dwell day in and day out and live with God for an amount of time where God is going to be able to grow you into who He wants you to be? You see, when that happens, when this happens in your life, when you become something that's more akin to this than the carrot or the apple, when you look like this, then when you come into a place like this, worship can actually mean something to you. Because you've all of a sudden started developing a big view of God. You know, what we're really talking about is you guys going home and taking this idea of, okay, if I've got a big view of God, then that's going to affect me. That's going to mean something for my worship. It's going to mean something for my experiences in worship from here on out. And if you do that, it produces something. Let's look one more place. One more place. I'm almost done. This is the last thing I'm going to show you, I promise. Isaiah chapter 6. Isaiah chapter 6. Because really and honestly, what we're doing here is we're talking about what you're going to produce from that experience of worship. Because worship isn't just an end in itself. It's not just the end-all, be-all of what you do as a believer. Listen to this. Isaiah chapter 6. Isaiah chapter 6 is tremendous. Isaiah chapter 6 has the verses where Isaiah comes face to face, just like Job did, with God. In God's court. And listen to this. In the year that King Uzziah died, starting at verse 1, I saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted, and the train of His robe filled the temple. Above Him were seraphs, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces, and with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they were flying, so a lot of wings. And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of His glory. At the sound of their voices, the doorpost and thresholds shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. He's seeing how big God is. He's getting a glimpse of the majesty, the bigness, the awesomeness, the radiance of God. And what's his reaction? His reaction is one of worship because he realizes who he is. He says, Woe to me, I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips. And my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. See, really what we're seeing here is the dwelling and then the saying. He's dwelling with God. He's developed that relationship. He sees God face to face. It's kind of easy to worship God when you're face to face with Him. I think that's kind of what had the point of heaven. So, and we're seeing that play out. But it doesn't end there. Look at what God says to him and look at what his response is. Because there's a response to worship. Listen, check this out.